Well, it's a good thing that I always give every anime 2 to 3 episodes a chance before I decide if I'm going to drop it or not. Because the first episode of this anime was not all that good. The character was super depressing and whiny. The the story did very little to capture my attention, and the animation style was just so bare bone. Some of the character movements, some of the character facial expression, the way it was drawn, and I don't know. It just looks weird. Some of the time, with the character models was not all that good. But I continue watching, and actually from the second episode onwards, the story really pick up. The animation style sadly never improved, but at least the cooking, because this is a cooking anime, the cooking at least looks barely decent. But let's talk about a little bit of the story. We have our main character Gaku, who wants to become a mathematician, but he lost his passion, he lost his drive, because just simply doing math is not good enough. You have to also invent new formulas, different way to reach the answer, but he doesn't have the same drive that his fellow colleagues have. So he dropped out. Not doing any more math competitions, and that causes the iron of the school principal that thinks that he's being disrespected or something. He's just somebody with a big and fragile ego. But it was only by the grace of another character called Kai, who is the head chef of a restaurant, and saw that Gaku has natural talents to cooking, that he does certain cooking techniques that a newbie, somebody that doesn't know nothing about cooking, would do. He just does so naturally.
皆さん、彼は料理を出すときフォークの温度を調整してるんですよ。フォークをお湯に浸し40度に調整せよ。最初にやったとき度肝を抜かず、そこまでの発想はなかった。悔しいな。
So Gaku tells Gaku to come to his restaurant to cook, and wants him to do cooking with combination with his mathematician skills, which does make sense because you have to do a lot of ingredients combinations. You have to measurements and other stuff. So a combination of math and cooking does make sense.
豚肉、紙、食材のそれが集合、数字だとする。これに入れる焼きそばの調理法が多分関数なんだ。できた。この料理の式です。ここから逆算します。
Let me just say that Gaku is still not all that impressive of a main character. It's only the other main character, Kai, who is the head chef, who is both the mentor and, I would say, the villain of this anime. Because Kai, every other couple of episodes, tells Gaku, okay, I'm going to give you a cooking challenge, and if you do not complete it, you're fired.
完璧な一品を作って満足させよう。でなければ、俺は重要な顧客を失うことになる。そんな人間には用はない。帰って二度とこの店に近く。
Putting Gaku constantly in a corner where he has to rack his brain to such desperate degrees in order to clear the challenge and continue to work in Kai's restaurant. And if I'm going to compare the story dynamic in any way, I would say that I would compare it to the anime Food Wars, there are two different arcs. The first where I will do the comparison is in the arc where the main character has to go to summer camp and has to do different cooking challenges. If not, he is expelled from the school. And the other mini arc that I can compare this anime to is in the arc where the main character has to go to a restaurant and he have to do cook a dish that impresses the head chef and maybe put it into the menu. So this anime, well, at least not to the same degree because, like I said, the animation compared to the anime Food Wars, the animation in this anime is trash. But it did had some similarities with those two arcs that I just mentioned. And let me just say that, like I said, the food in this anime looks, at least when it comes to animation, looks decent, but still, it that managed to get me a little bit hungry. Some of them look more delicious than others. But man, those small portions, because when he's cooking in that restaurant, yeah, he serves some in those big plates, and you see those small pieces of meats and different desserts cooking and what have you. It just looks so little. I know that this is one of those up star restaurant, 1 star, and but man, you can never catch me in one of those restaurants. I mean, I know that the ingredients for those dishes are costly, but man, those portions are so little that I swear that if I ever decide to eat one somebody will have to invite me and not and me not having to pay. But if I ever have to eat one of those dishes, I swear that a half hour later I'm all hungry again because those portions are just so small. It looks delicious, but still so little. It would not fill me up. So I am going to. I think I already finished. I am going to give this anime a score of a 6. A 6 out of 10. I was debating whether to give this anime a 6 or a 7 for quite a while because the from the second episode onwards the anime actually, like I said, really did capture my attention, and I just ate it up and I watched that anime like in the span of 2 days, where in other animes I take a while because sometimes it just feels like a chore to finish it. But just because I really did enjoy it, I did have to knock a couple of points. The animation style, the story in the first episode was lackluster, but from the second episode onward, they pick up the pace. And the only character that I can say that did a lot, and I do mean a lot of the heavy lifting, was the other character Kai, which I love. He's my favorite. If it wasn't for him, this anime would be a failure. So I think that's all that I have to say. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from, and see you next video.